that, more of a closer relationship with me. So that's it. It's what I love. Nothing gives me more pleasure than waking up and saying, "You have a new patron." And so today I'm going to thank my over the weekend patrons, which are Chris, Brad, Ralph, Jimmy, and Mitchell. Thank you, Chris, Brad, Ralph, Jimmy, and Mitchell for joining me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. I put a little bathing suit shot on my Patreon just to say thanks. So that's me being a little teaser or thirst trapper or whatever that is. My son calls it a thirst trap. I never heard of that before, but I guess that's what it is. Okay, Nini Lasser, I send a message to you because I have a problem. Please answer me. Send it again right here because I don't get all the messages. Unfortunately, it's like, it just gets crazy. Oh, there we go, Mr. Bean. Going for the wackadoodle comment of the day. Okay, so this is from Jimmy, one of my patrons. He said he's been following my YouTube channel for about a week or so and subscribed. I'm 25 and a Latino in New York City, currently having trouble finding cougars to date. I have dated cougars before, but most of them I meet online or through friends. What are your suggestions? So my suggestion is that it is basically a numbers game about meeting anybody. So if you've been having some success with your friends and with online, then that's great. The other thing you could try doing is just going where cougars go. Just go to some places that are upscale, such as bars, restaurants, things like that, places where there's dancing. And it's going to take a little courage and confidence, but you need to go up and just say hello. Can I share your photos on my page? I don't know what your page is, so no, not right now, unless you give me more understanding of what that is. Anyway, let's see. So that was from Jimmy. I hope that helped. Then Eden asked in Chicago specifically where to meet people, and I suggested going to the Viagra Triangle. It's a triangle where Rush Street meets Bellevue and one other street, but it's where there's a lot of like touristy bars. And that's another thing. If you are in a tourist type of area, you might meet older women that are more likely to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to, for what happens in Chicago stays in Chicago type of thing. And you might meet more people that are more willing to have, some adventures. Whereas if they're in their hometown, they might be worried about the stigma of going out with older women and stuff, that kind of stuff. All right. So here's another question. It's from Eden. My biggest hurdle to overcome is their innate and understandable fear of me being too young and the fear of me not being mature enough. Let's see. And then the question about, okay, so first let's talk about what being mature enough is. It's all in your mind. If you think that women are like going to judge you about not being mature and everything, they might say, oh, you're too young. You're like old enough to be my son. But the reality is that they will end up breaking down at some point if you continue to have a conversation with them. So just don't give up and don't even acknowledge those questions about age. Just make a joke about it and pretend that they didn't even say it, because it's just their defense mechanism, because there is a stigma attached to it. If there wasn't, I think if there was no stigma and everybody was like how older men talk to younger women, there'd be a lot more of this age gap dating going on. But because there's such a stigma, it's still attached, even with Cougar Town and everything else. A lot of women are very reluctant to try it for the first time. Once they try it for the first time, they may end up going and trying it again in the future. Okay, so let's see. And then a lot of these questions are about like, what's the youngest age you'll ever, date? And that's kind of a silly question because I'm not dating anybody. I am with my boyfriend for 10 and a half years. And yes, he's younger than me, but he's also getting older because I've been with him for 10 years. But anyway, as far as like, there is no like set age that like, oh, a 40-year-old won't go out with someone who's under 30 or something like that. It really depends on the person. And I know people in their 60s going out with guys in their 20s. I know people in their 50s going out with only guys that are 40s and up. So who knows, Thank you for the compliments, Mitchip72. I appreciate it. Okay, and then what, in my experience, what would you say is the ratio of cubs to cougars in the dating world? Uh, let's see. It seems like there aren't enough cougars to meet the demand of the growing number of cubs. And I would absolutely agree with that. Again, mostly because the younger guys are finding so many good reasons to be with older women. And I think the younger guys are becoming like more smart about who they're dating and spending their time with. If you only have a limited amount of time and you're working on things like your career and things like that, you don't really have time to date. It really works better to be with someone who's older. Sorry about the. I've been ignoring the chat here on YouTube, but I will get to you in a sec. Okay, so yeah, how to push a girl to get intimate with. You don't want to push anybody to get intimate, Irish. If you're saying, how do I get a woman to start thinking of you sexually, first you've got to make her feel that she can trust you. And second of all, you've got to make sure that she thinks of you as someone sexual and not just a friend. So I think the most important thing is just to tell her how you feel and start with that. Hey, Bryson. Thank you, Natish. Ali, I love older women and they love me. That's great. Let's see. I have a nose fetish. Would this bother a mature woman? A nose fetish is a new one for me, Stephen. It's all about the huge penis and Walmart computer. No, come on, Mr. Bean. Let's see. The nose fetish, would it bother? No fetishes are going to really bother anybody unless it's something harmful or they don't want to do it. So thank you for all these compliments. I'm just trying to get through this whole thing. So yeah, there aren't any really bad fetishes. Like this guy has an armpit fetish, another guy has a wedgie fetish, another guy has a foot fetish, another guy has a whatever fetish. And a nose fetish is a new one for me, but don't think of it as anything more than this. What turns you on, and it's okay. Some guys have ass fetishes. Some guys have boob fetishes. Some guys, I mean, it's everything. Hey there, Ash Gosh, it's Josh and Brendan. What do you say to a woman you think is using you? Using you for what, Jeff? What's she using you for? Like, it really depends on when you feel like you're being used. If you feel like you're being used for something, then just discuss it and say, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this is not a mutual thing. But you have to give me a little bit more understanding of what you mean, Jeff. You're addicted to sexually mature ladies, Isaac. Not unusual. Hi, CK. Hi, Chris. Let's see. AG, do you think different cultures make much of a difference? For example, traditional Asian versus Western. Yeah, I do think that there's a difference in the cultures about, like some cultures are much more sexually open and have no problems dating younger men versus, other cultures like Asian traditional Asian cultures or Indian cultures are very much against it. So I think it really depends on where you're living, and I'm not knowledgeable about every culture except my own, which is the United States. Let's see. Hi, Hurt Lacquer. Oh, your girlfriend and you are broken up. Well, think of it this way, Hurt Lacquer, with every yin, there's a yang. So if you broke up with her, it allows you to be with other people. And the more experience you have as a young guy, the better, to me, you'll know what you want in your life. I am Yako de Instagram. Do you remember? I have 43,000 followers on Instagram. So I can't remember everybody, and I apologize because I'm not even good with I'm not even good knowing people that live in my building. Weird fetish would always happen in part of your body when you look in eye contact of an attractive woman. Okay. And hi to you, Arul. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I wonder what it's like to date a cougar, never dated one. Shine. Try it. You'll like it. What do you got to lose? I mean, it's the reason that people like dating older women is because there isn't a lot of like game playing and stuff like that. You're going to get a straight shooter. And I think a lot of times that really works for guys that are used to having women play a lot of games. Cougars put out. Thank you, Mr. Bean. Let's see. Okay. Jen, well, I don't want to sound vulgar, but she openly states that she only started seeing me because she knows from other cougars that I'm very endowed and she objectifies me for it. Ah, Jeff, then don't see her if you feel like she's just using you for your big schlong. It just, you know, or you can, if you like her personality, you can say that that hurts your feelings and talk to her about it. The good thing about being with older women is that you really can talk to them about things that are bothering you. Go ahead and speak about it. Just, if you're having sex with someone, you should be able to at least have a conversation, right? I'm new here. Say some basic tips on how to make up with who. Can a younger man really learn more on how to have sex from an older woman? Hey, you guys, Don wants to know if a younger man really can learn more about how to have sex from an older woman. If you think that older women can teach younger men a lot of things, give a thumbs up right now. Especially if you're on YouTube or Instagram right here. Let's see. Notice cougar and milfs like younger men. Wonder why I'm young myself. Um, because they do. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to get a Kleenex. And I'm back. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Da, 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 da. Can a younger man really? Oh, we did that one. Jeff. And now that we're in a relationship, she's using me for money. Jeff, you are allowing somebody to use you. Nobody uses anybody unless they allow it, right? You have to stand up and just state how you feel. And if she doesn't like that, then go on to the next person. That's my opinion. I mean, what do I know? Let's see. Can a younger man really? Oh, we already said that 10 times. Let's see. I want to fuck my friend's mom again. I know it's wrong, but it felt so good. Are you lying about that, Real Rec? Be careful. Be careful. Thank you for the thumbs up there, Bryson. So hello from Chile. Okay, thanks, Karen. What can I say without sounding lame, though? I don't want to be all sensitive sounding. And how can I talk to her about using me for money now that she knows how much I make? It's got bad. All right. Well, I mean, I can go into like specifics detail with you, Jeff. It's best if you join me on Patreon. Again, if you have money, spend it on me. No, I'm just kidding. It is hard if people are using you or that they're only want you because you have money or a big dick. But on the other hand, I think if you don't talk to her about it, you're going to be resentful. So you need to have a discussion and just say, tell me, what it is about me that you truly care about. And if she can't articulate that other than you have a big dick and you've got a big wallet, then maybe move to someone who can appreciate your gifts. Well, let's see. What are some examples of an effective icebreaker for conversation? AG. Really, it says if you talk to anyone, if you walked into a room full of market research people and just observed people like talking to each other, they'd be talking about like, well, maybe how they got there, what's in the room. Maybe they'd find mutual friends. There's a lot of ways that you can just start a conversation with anyone, regardless if they're a man or a woman, just to talk about what's in the room or what's currently happening in your life. And it's interesting because I always watch my boyfriend. He's very talkative. He's very outspoken, and he can talk to anybody. He's just really a great conversationalist. I notice like he will concentrate on what the person's wearing or what their tattoo says, and he'll ask questions like, "Oh, what does your tattoo mean?" So really, there's a lot of ways that you can start conversations Like someone already said, "Oh, I like your earrings. That's very cool." Or, I noticed that you have a picture of the Buddha on your wall. Are you into Buddhism or are you into yoga? You can start a conversation by whatever's in the surroundings. AG, hopefully that helps you. Isaac, you've been married for 6 years. That's awesome. How's it going? Hello, Apurvajan. Sorry about that. Okay, Real Wreck. Uh, let's see. Talk of Texas is in the house. I will jacking it on you, babe. I'm checking on your Patreon. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can answer if you're on my Patreon page, like the current people that are on there, they know that anytime you have a question, you can message me back and forth, and I will get back to you usually that same day and talk to you. So it's a really good way of us staying connected and you being able to support what I'm doing here because YouTube certainly doesn't. Oh, let's see. Don, I'm 40 and I want me a hot and sexy 7-year-old lady. Are there any out there that you know? Don, I know plenty of hot and sexy. I don't know that many 7-year-olds, but certainly I know a lot of women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that would want to go out with someone who's 40. So it's just a matter of being in the right place and meeting people. You've been married for 6 years. My wife is 12 years older, and we have a daughter who's 1 year old. In conclusion, I am happy. I thank God for my family. Isaac, that is great. And thank you for letting us know. And if you wouldn't mind, send me an email at Karen@KarenLeePotter.com, and I'll put that in my book that I'm writing, The Secrets to Dating Older Women, because I think it's nice to hear happy ending stories about relationships, actually, between younger men and older women. So that's Karen@KarenLeePotter.com. If you can write me a little blurb about your marriage and how that's working out. There's a fine line between love and hate when you're in a relationship. And yes, I know that's a song of the 70s, but it is a statement you should write in your book. Okay, thank you, CKA. Hurt Locker. See, there's your yin and your yang. Now that you broke up with one person, you can now go out with a girl that you think has a crush on you. So I think that's cool. Thank you for all these thumbs up to what we were talking about if you can learn anything about sex from older women. I met a MILF in Vegas. Yeah, I mean, again, I think if you travel, it's a really good way to meet older people, older women. I'm younger and a small kid. Tell me tips to be friendly with a cougar. Don't think of yourself as a small kid. Think of yourself as a man because no woman wants to be with anybody that calls himself a small kid. So first you got to work on yourself. That's my first tip for you, Arul. Let's see. I'm just going to say APO. I prefer watching your advice videos rather than a live stream. I'm curious in advice, which works rather than listening to all this frat boyish juvenile comments. No offense to you. Yeah, but there's 400 videos that I've done already that are just advice videos. So you can go ahead and watch all those. But if you want to participate and be able to be interactive, then you come here. So there's no offense taken. It's just what works for me right now is to address things as they come, as opposed to writing more of the same, which I've already written. I mean, already done so many videos that I kind of like I'm bored of it. And I find they aren't any more viewed than the ones that are in live. So I might as well go live. But I could see where, a 4-minute video is much more informative, quicker than like a long 20 to 30-minute video that I put here. How can I stop women from falling in love so easily with me? Oh, that's a big, tough problem, Taka, Texas. Maybe stick with one of them, I guess. I don't know. Beyond appreciated. Thank you, Kevin. If you appreciate me, go to my Patreon page. And if you guys really want some funny, informative, entertaining, and enlightening material, go to Sex Talk with My Mom. I'm going to write it right here. It's a podcast I do with my son. He's a comic. And he's currently on America's Got Talent. And I would love it if you guys would go to the podcast and subscribe and listen to it because I love that podcast. It's a lot of fun. You'll see a different side of me, and I think you'll all enjoy it. Tell me some impressing conversation with cougars. Oh, I don't know what that means. If I had tickets to Hamlet, Karen, would you go with me? He will We will discuss this at dinner tonight, baby. Okay. I encountered a cougar who was dating someone after I spoke to her, but was eyeing me for a while, 15 minutes. And she told me, I'm too old for you. LOL. Why is this? Bad mind. I'll tell you why that is. The reason that is because there's a stigma, and women are just conditioned to first put up like a defense by saying, "Oh, I'm too old for you," and that kind of thing. So just ignore that and keep discussing it with her. How do you feel about your boyfriend not being young anymore? Uh, he's he's young. It's not like I ever like wanted to go after someone very very young. It's just that for whatever reason he and I connected. So I mean, whether or not he's what is typically young, it doesn't matter. It's a connection. Am I married? I'm pretty much married. I mean, I've been with the same guy for 10 years. I'm 18 and interested in older women. How can I find myself an older woman? Well, that's what this live stream is all about. So just keep watching it, I guess. Look at my question, please. Oh my goodness, I can't find it. There's so many questions here. I don't know where to start. If you have a question, please re-type it or go down to on YouTube and put in the little $ there, and I'll be able to see it first. Are you doing 2 live streams? Yeah, I'm doing YouTube and Instagram. She's an awesome person. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's very sweet. How can you control our feeling to someone when you? How can control our feeling to someone when we feel it deeply? You can control your actions. You can't control your feelings. Okay, or you could try to switch your thoughts in your head like a radio station to a different thought. Um, let's see. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. These questions are flying by right now, and I'm attempting to answer them the best I can. Please, how can I get an old woman from 40s that want a black man? Prince. I mean, I again just keep watching these live streams. I don't know what to say. Don, it's a lot of immature young men here. I'm 40. When I was 21 to 29, I was so mature for my age. Yay. Yeah, don't worry about the age thing. You're going to find immature people at every age. There's plenty of immature people that are in their 60s. Talk of Texas, don't try to stop it. Just go with the flow, brother. I love when you guys uh, support each other. It's a nice thing. Let's see. Real wreck, I tried to roll, but they start clinching too tight. Okay. So, all right. So, what you're saying is happening here, Talk of Texas, is that you feel like these girls, like you're in not, I guess I'm gathering that you're in a place where you're not really trying to have a relationship. You just want to have like more like fun, casual experiences. So you need to articulate that from the start. And if someone starts getting really needy and clingy, even though you said it from the start, you got to be firm about it because that means she's not respecting your wishes. It's not easy though. Talk about a different topic. What is the difference between being a richer relationship to a poor relationship? Usually like food stamp people living in an apartment. I don't know what that means. I was at the state fair last year and there was this butterfly exhibit with monarchs, and there was a beautiful girl with cotton candy hair. I went up and started talking to her, and oh, that's your crush. Is 7 inches long enough? Come on, Mr. Drew. Mr. DR3. Let's see. We actually had a good chat until her boyfriend walked up. I've never been so scared in my life, but he was cool, and I slowly slipped away. You can talk to anybody. Texas, if only I had your powers, women tend to slap me in the face. Thank you, Jeff, for the camera. I went through that this weekend, Mr. Piratebrain. Which one did you go through? Okay, Raymond, I'm a dating app, Karen, and asked the woman if she would like to meet just something simple for coffee, and she's coming back saying no thanks. So if you're on a dating app, just talk to a bunch of other people, talk to new people, don't worry about the one person. You can't take anything personally. I'm going to talk to you guys one more time about the 4 agreements. Second agreement, don't take anything personally. The book is in the description box below here if you want to check it out. When having oral sex, where do I start first? Oh man, that's not go. I don't have time at this point for an oral sex lesson, but go back and look at some of my videos with some of the porn stars, especially Nina Hartley. Piratebrain, you had the same thing happen that you realized a relationship wouldn't work and she got really needy. So if people are getting needy, especially if it's a new relationship, they're not developing their own life, and that causes them to latch onto you, and it's something that's very unattractive to men and to women too. Women don't like if men do that stuff. So it's something that you need to like think about: is it worth it, or just should I move on? Hey Karen, what's the type of girl that's carefree, like easy to talk to and just open? um, Hurt Locker. You just have to find someone with those qualities. Okay, these are the last questions for Instagram. How can I be deeply feeling? I don't know what these questions are. You're you're with a sexy lady. She's 54 and I'm 38. That's great. Can we talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? If you guys want to talk to me, you got to go to patreon.com. Daisy Short, you're a wonderful, interesting, inspiring person to look up to. Oh, Daisy, thank you so much for saying that. And I really appreciate any woman that's on here. Please join me on YouTube and subscribe. You guys, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube and on Instagram, please do. It makes me feel so good to inspire women specifically because it's mostly men here. And yeah, afraid of fear, not very independent, no self esteem. Oh, this is you. Yeah, contact me on Patreon. You sent a question DMs and week. Make sure that you join me on Patreon and write your question there. Let's see. Thank you, Chevron. Taco Texas Karen is beautiful. Thank you. Hey, Robbie. Um, all right, you guys, I gotta run. Mr. Pepperprint, she started calling me 3 times a day and texting all day. No, you gotta put that kibosh on that one. And that's about it, you guys. I hope everybody had a wonderful time here on my live stream. Don't forget to check out Sex Talk with My Mom, the podcast. As a matter of fact, oh, you're talking about the needy girl. Gotcha. Anyway, Sex Talk with My Mom is my podcast. I would love it if you guys would subscribe there so you can listen to those. We have a really funny morning after episode. It's called the Morning After Show, and we do an episode every Thursday. And thank you, Daisy. We do an episode every Thursday with a guest, and then on a Monday we listen to what your comments were over the weekend. You can go to Yes Text Mom, and you'll be able to text us or call us and leave messages, and we'll talk about those on our show. Which you'll see that there's one out today. It's called The Morning After Show. Check it out. It's really funny because my son went to a BDSM party and he talked about that. I think you'll really enjoy it. Goodbye to everybody here. And that's it. I hope everybody had a good time and I love you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And I will talk to you next Wednesday. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss this. Yay, don't miss it. And bye.